Hey there, sports fans. Another episode of Watching Paint Dry. This week, we have the great HEXLOOM on the show. We learn about a lot of very interesting things, such as HEXLOOM's musical pursuits, gaming history, all the good stuff. Plus, Steven Tyler's iconic cameo in the classic Christmas feature film, The Polar Express. Nothing more to say, but roll tape. Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of... oh, I forgot the name of the show. The Watching Paint Dry Show. Yeah! Great start. Our guest today is a Twitch partner, not affiliate, part of the Creators Club, musician, filmmaker, gamer, HEXLOOM.
Hello. It's such an honor to be here, dude, at your desk. I feel like I'm like at a principal's office or something.
I'm like the kind of principal that also like lives at school.
Yeah,
Here's my
yeah.
bed.
Yeah. For reasons unknown. Yeah.
The school district isn't paying how it used to. But anyway, I thought of like a new cool way of starting off the interview. I was doing a lot of research. I was taking
Okay.
notes from our first episode featuring Aqua FPS, and I was like, I gotta kind of, I think, kind of continue to mold my interview or persona. So I thought of we're going to try this out for the first time. It's probably going to be very corny, but I'm going to ask you a few questions. You may see a trend, but I just would like you to answer them truthfully.
Okay.
So, first question, who are you?
That could be a deep question.
Yeah, it's very, very kind of whoa. But whatever comes to mind, as simple as HEXLOOM.
Yeah, my name's HEXLOOM. I stream on Twitch. I mainly play a game called Escape from Tarkov, but yeah, I've been very fortunate enough to have a very cool community, and I can do the things that I do.
Beautiful.
As far as streaming, I mean, there's I don't know. I don't know.
Here, it's going to get even more uncomfortable. Ready?
All right.
Finish this sentence. What are you?
Where are you pulling this stuff from?
All right, perfect. Where are you is the next one.
America.
This is super like a Zen question. Why are you?
Well, my parents decided to come together and join as one, and then I came out about 33 years ago.
And the final question, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, thanks. I like that one. That's a good one. Everyone can know. Might I say, your hair is looking fabulous today,
Thank
by the
you.
way. It's usually all slicked back, but I like this poofy version.
Yeah, this is kind of, I'm trying to become transparent with the viewer. This is the the real Greg. None of that
Yeah, I like it.
Hollywood BS you see on Twitch. This is au naturel.
Well, I appreciate it.
I'm feeling pretty okay today. I'm glad to be here with you. The name of the podcast, as I remembered a few minutes ago, is Watching Paint Dry. And whether you're aware of it or not, I joined Twitch due to a friend in common, Aqua FPS.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very much inspired by the Loot Lords community, but just community building in general. And I thought, I love art. It's done me wonders. It's very fulfilling, self-rewarding. So we created the Creative Content community, which you may be aware of. And
Oh yeah, very aware.
our message is simple. If you're creating, you'll be content. So basically tonight we're just going to draw, we're going to talk about whatever comes up. I want to ask you, growing up, I know that you're very much an artist, whether you consider yourself one or not. I would say so. Were you a drawer?
No. So I actually don't have that little creative side of my brain, but my mother did. My mother was actually really good at drawing. And my dad kind of had like the music side of creativity. He knew more about music, but my mom had the artistic side as far as like drawing and painting. But I didn't really get any of that. I'm kind of bummed because I can see I see people draw like super like elaborate things or whatever, painting certain things, and they just think completely differently. And I wish I had that. But
Well, you will feel very comfortable when you start to see my form in a little bit.
I love trying, so there's that at least.
Well, that's kind of the message, is like getting lost in the
Yeah.
process is, you know, what's that Miley Cyrus that meme? It's a where her voice is all groggly.
The journey is usually the part that you remember, anyways.
Thank you, Miley. Well, to begin, I mean, I feel like this would be a great tradition that was born last time. But Bob Ross, are you familiar with Bob Ross?
Oh yeah, big boy Bob.
5-minute warm up. You know, just to get the creative juices flowing. Get
We're drawing Bob.
in whatever version of Bob, whatever
Oh,
in the Bob universe.
okay, I like this.
It could be anything and everything.
Bob multiverse, huh? Coming soon.
So tell me, how is Tarkov?
I hate it.
This is a question you can ask somebody on any given day, any given time, and the answer may be very different.
That is true. Yeah. Late white always is. It's a struggle for me, mainly to just keep my interest. I don't know. I feel like Tarkov has been. I'm very fortunate for Tarkov and everything that it's done for me. I feel like I've grown most of my community off of it as well. But at the same time, I feel like it's also made myself like less creative in a certain aspect as well. Because I feel like my streams used to be far different than like what they are right now. So, I don't know. It's like one of those like love-hate relationship type things where I can't really knock it. I mean, dude, I play video games for a living. I shouldn't be complaining about anything, to be honest. But I mean, it's more than that, but so yeah, Tarkov is Tarkov. Usually around this time, of wipe, I start getting a little bit frustrated with it. So that's why I've been playing actually Dark Souls,
Yeah.
which is the first time that I have personally ever played Dark Souls. I'd never played as a kid or whenever that game came out. I don't know when it actually came out, but I had never played it myself. But it has been such a pleasure playing that game, and everyone seems to be enjoying it too, which I think is great. So makes me feel good.
Totally. So when did you begin streaming originally?
Um, I want to say like 2018, maybe. I think 2018 is when I started dabbling with it. I did more of like YouTube and editing at the time. I was playing the game Rust, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yep.
Um, but I was playing only that. That's actually what got me into content creation, and honestly, a lot of video editing in general was the video game Rust, and like watching people play that game and like how much fun and all the content that they were making off of it. And so I wanted to do the same thing. Aqua being one of them, surprisingly.
Yeah.
but which is kind of crazy to think about now. But um, yeah. So I don't even remember what the fuck the question was, to be honest. I just you kind of get lost in the drawing and you just start rambling.
Yeah, it's great. No, this is the, like, the zen we fall under
Yeah,
while creating.
I'm doing terrible. I am not good at faces
What, dude?
or like people in
You
general.
you'll you'll be very shocked at what I'm drawing right now. In a good way, hopefully.
This guy's terrifying what I'm drawing. Yeah, streaming. Yeah, so, I would do mainly YouTube videos and stuff like that, and then I feel like a lot of people's first exposure to streaming was Doctor Disrespect, and I thought, like, his production value and just the thought of having, like, a live show that you could call your own little, like, creative space that other people could watch in real time always interested me so much. So I started doing that a little bit more, and they kind of evolved into something where I did a show with my good friend Fobtac, which I'm pretty sure you're familiar with. I'm
Oh,
sure
totally.
a lot of people probably who watch this are familiar with Fobtac. But Fobtac and I actually met through YouTube, and I decided to start streaming, and I was like, "Do you want to do this show together?" So we did this like live call-in show, and I feel like that's when I was a bit more creative as far as the streams and so on and so forth. But I actually started streaming under the name Assless Chaos, and I got affiliate with that name, surprisingly. And once the stream started getting a bit more traction, started realizing that I should probably take it a bit more serious, the name. And after TwitchCon, I was like, I want to go to TwitchCon and at least get the badge with Assless Chaos on it, which I did. And after that, I changed my name over to HEXLOOM, which I think
Co
is a lot better name anyway.
Coincidentally, Assless Chaos is, what my proctologist calls me. I'm sorry. This is probably, like, the most embarrassing question to ask. What is the origin of HEXLOOM? Or
Um,
was it just such a I know there's some people out there, you may know this, charming young lad named B-Horse.
yeah.
He used just a, name randomizer
Is
and
that
did
how
it
he
from
got
there.
his name? I didn't know that. That's hilarious. Biannual horse. Yeah, big shout out to B Horse. He's the real one.
I'm fascinated by these origin stories.
Well, that's how I guess Childish Gambino also got his rap name as well, I believe. No, mine wasn't. Yeah, mine wasn't that cool. I went with a bunch of names. When I went through a name change, I was like, okay, if I change my name, this is gonna be it. Like, so I need to figure out a name that I thought could be memorable, but I also wanted it to be a name that was like Googleable, Googleable. You could Google it, basically. So like, and when you Google that, like, that's what comes up is like that person. I also wanted to have all the handles the same. So I went through a various different names, but it was always like Hex something or like Gloom or something, whatever. And it eventually just landed on Hexloom, and I was like, that sounds
That's it.
great. And I searched it up, obviously, and I could get everything, so I got the handles immediately, and I was like, okay, we're gonna go forward with this. I also read somewhere in some article that like people can relate more to names that have like two O's in it, and
Interesting.
they seemed it's, like, more business oriented, and, like, a good example of that they gave was, like, Google, basically. I don't know why or what that is, or I don't know where that article even was or anything else about that, but that's what they said, and I was like, "Well, that's perfect because there's 2 O's in this, so it looks
I'm gonna
good. Let's do it."
change my name to Greg Sego.
Gregu.
Greg, it's like that
Gregu.
Star Wars character. if you'd like to, I mean, if you'd like to share your Bob Ross drawing,
Yeah. You want to see?
I would love to see it. Oh boy, I love it.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably the best you're gonna get. He's drawing the mountains.
I love it, man. For tonight, I kind of changed it up and I drew uh his hairbrush. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, I like that.
I thought that would be a kind of a cool. It's the unseen,
Behind the scenes,
you
yeah.
know,
I mean,
all of that glamour that we saw on TV. A lot went into that.
yeah, the brush. Where do you think that brush is now?
There you go.
Who knows?
I always wanted to do this. That didn't work.
David Letterman.
David Letterman with the card.
Yeah,
Did you watch Letterman growing up?
I did. Yeah, David
I was
Letterman.
such a huge fan.
Same here.
Oh my god,
Um,
genius.
did you ever remember the bits that he would do with like the intern guy? And I can't remember his real name's Jimmy, but he's on.
Yeah, Jimmy Simpson.
Yeah.
Lyle the intern.
Yes, I've
Yeah,
actually.
that was the best.
Don't take this the wrong way, Shirley, but this ain't exactly Apollo 11, know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know what that means. What the?
I think you do.
Yeah,
You
well,
know
I
exactly
don't.
what it means.
Yeah, well, I don't.
I met Jimmy in real life once, and he was the nicest person I have ever met, and it was just like so cool because I like watched him as a kid, you know, on Letterman, and I thought he was the funniest dude. Like he was just pop up out of nowhere, and he would just be like so weird, and I loved that. And it was just cool meeting him and him being like actually really nice. And he's like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Oh my god, you want to know my
You want to
name?
know my name?
Me?"
I remember. Yeah, he's like a legitimate actor now. He's
Yeah.
shown up in. He was in the movie Zodiac. He was in Westworld.
Westworld. Yep.
It's so funny because yeah, he's just to me and you. He's Lyle the intern.
Yeah, that's where he was. I love it. But yeah, I was a big Letterman watcher. I loved it.
My favorite was well, of course, stupid pet tricks,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's stupid human tricks. But he had the bit, "Is this anything?"
I remember. Was that when he would have like the grinder girl or whatever? Is that for that bit? Do you remember that?
He'd go to Paul Schaefer and be like, "Time for Is This Anything?" And they'd go like, you know, they play "Is This Anything?" Damn.
Is this anything? Is this
And then they'd open up the, you know, they had the big Ed Sullivan Theater stage
Yeah.
with the huge backdrop and the curtains, and they'd open it, and it was like a lady, it wasn't like a metal suit, like sawing herself. Sparks
Yeah,
coming out.
something stupid.
Take a look. To there. Wow.
And then it would
God, I
close
loved
after
it.
10 seconds, and they'd be, "Paul, what do you think? Was that anything?" You'd be like,
Other than that, though, I didn't think it was
No,
much.
I didn't think that was
Pretty
anything.
much nothing.
No, that was
nothing.
Okay. Yeah. We'll be right back with Kat Von D, ladies and gentlemen.
Or Will It Float? Remember?
Yeah,
Will it float?
Time to play Will It Float, Paul. Take it away. Alan, what is tonight's Will It Float item?
Hi, I'm Alan Coulter, TV's Rabbi Zuckerman. Dave, tonight's item is a glass brick.
Oh, glass brick. Ooh, glass brick. It'll float.
Well, I wonder,
Absolutely
I mean,
float.
is
How much does it weigh? Do you know how much it weighs?
Probably 8 pounds.
What are we playing for, Alan?
Oh, we're playing for a dog.
A dog.
Back to you, Dave.
Oh, I'd like to have a dog. Hi, girls. How are you? Okay, anytime you're ready.
floating.
It's floating.
It's floating.
Yeah.
They just bring out random objects and ask if it would float. It was just like so stupid,
I
but it
know,
was
it's-
like the perfect comedy for someone like me. you know.
It,
So
yeah, I aspire to reach anything in all of my artistic pursuits, anything close to that.
that makes me so happy that you know all that too.
Oh,
That's great.
totally. Well, I mean, for a long time, you're a huge movie guy, as I am.
Mm-hmm.
Been wanting to talk film. You know, big. If you're into cinema, we call it film.
Yeah, definitely.
Just so fucking pompous sounding. Uh, this is a good question. Seen anything good lately?
Yes, actually, I went and saw just a couple of days ago. I went and saw Dream Scenario.
Oh, the new Nicolas Cage movie.
Yes, it was very good. I highly suggest it. Nicolas Cage is always one of those guys that I'll go watch any movie that he's in. It's either going to be insanely stupid or like a hit, you know? I feel like he never it's never in between. You don't know what you're gonna get, but Dream Scenario looked like one of those movies where it's like, I think this guy was competent enough to direct him. And sure enough, that's how it felt. And it's like his acting worked perfectly with the movie. It was awesome. I
I
loved it.
love the plot is like very much uh sort of what went through during the memification of Nicolas Cage. That's what
Yeah, so every
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm
just a move.
sold.
Yeah, everyone's just dreaming about him. This is no spoilers or anything. But everyone's just dreaming about him, and he's just a normal guy. He's just this normal dude, and he's just popping up in everyone's dreams. And I mean, more goes into it as the story develops, but yeah, I loved it. It was great. It was a different. It wasn't any kind of multiverse movie that they're shilling out constantly. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Have you seen the Nicolas Cage classic Vampire's Kiss?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you gotta.
I feel
It's
like there's a lot of movies that I haven't seen of him, to be honest.
it's so wonderful. It's about he plays like this 80s era yuppie, and all he wants to do is fall in love, but he just, he's like a head of a literary company or like a vice type of role, and he just wants to be loved, but the problem is he's a horrible human being.
Oh,
And as it goes in New York City, one night he brings a girl home and he gets bit by her, gets the vampire kiss, and now he's a vampire, or at least he thinks he is. But yeah, five star film. It's it's something to experience.
I'll watch it just for that, honestly. That sounds great.
Since this will be like the holiday season, and you got a nice
Yeah.
kind of red and green going on in your room. This wasn't
Mhm.
planned. I got a green screen and some red here, so kind of Christmassy, festive.
It's very, very Christmas vibes.
I think I'm gonna draw Santa Claus,
Okay.
but I may kind of like bring in an element of what we've been talking about so far. Maybe Santa Claus is a vampire.
I like it. I might join you.
Eagle eye viewers of episode 1 may have noticed I was using this Paper Mate 0.7 millimeter mechanical pencil. I have
Ah,
added to the collection a Energel liquid gel ink in black, red, and green, plus a blue Sharpie. So a whole new era of visual entertainment is about to
yeah.
unwind.
He got pins. He's got pins.
When did you link up with Aqua?
So as I mentioned before, I was only like making Rust content, and it eventually went down. It came down to that eventually, but uh, it gained enough. The Rust videos gained, and I was within the Rust community enough to be invited to certain things. And one of the things that I was invited to was this like creator server that a Rust content creator H June was putting on. Like basically anyone who was in the Rust community at the time was invited, which was really cool. And then some people like me were invited too. so it was pretty sweet. So I had a team in there, and it just so happened that when we were doing our wipe for that, that my group and Aqua's group kind of like had a quarrel, not a quarrel, that's the wrong word for it. We just had like, we were in the same area and we had something that happened to both of us go on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I was already a fan of Aqua. Like Aqua was one of the main people to get me into Rust in general before I even knew, like I didn't know him like at all at this point, like on a personal level, but so like being it's like seeing him or having like an interaction with him, like I'm obviously like fanboying a little bit over it, but we did our thing and so on and so forth. And then obviously I wanted to make a video off of the experience. And I wrote this like whole story down that was going to be mainly like scripted but not scripted. It was just built off the story was going to be built off of the footage that I got that was unscripted. But then
Yeah.
through cinematics, I would make it into like a bigger like movie style thing. So basically the whole video itself is probably like 60% cinematics and the rest is the actual like gameplay footage, and I built it around that whole interaction that we had with like Aqua and so on and so forth. So me and Aqua are like enemies during this video in our group. It's actually a really good video, to be honest.
Is
I'm
it
not
still
gonna lie.
online?
Yeah, it's on the HEXLOOM channel. Spoon Kid's in it. Aqua's in it. A lot of people. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite videos that I've done. It was spent a lot of work on it. Like that was one of the main videos that I actually did like a storyboard for before I did everything,
Yeah.
before I filmed all the cinematic stuff. Anyways, it's besides the point. That was the first time that I had an interaction with Aqua, but when I did it, I was like, well, this would be so much cooler for like the cinematic stuff if I can get them to actually say their own lines for their own character. So I had sent like Spoon Kid a message, and I sent Aqua a message, and all the other people that were in it as well. But Aqua like immediately replied and was like, "Yeah, dude, just let me know what you need."
He's such
And
a good boy.
he really is, yeah. Aqua's like one of those people that I feel like is true to himself, the persona that he puts online,
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
not
something that
nothing is fake.
right, and that's something that I've always appreciated. But so yeah, so we did that. The video finally came out, and he enjoyed it. And I guess, obviously a lot of things always come back to the one and only King's entourage. But I think King's was already watching my streams even beforehand
Oh.
when Fobtac and I were doing that show. So, because I feel like I remember seeing his name in the chats even before that. So he kind of already knew who I was and that I edited and so on and so forth. But after that, it eventually just kind of came down to King's asking me if I wanted to edit for Aqua. So it's kind of crazy because like it all kind of came full circle because Aqua was kind of like one of the people that got me into video editing as far as like video game stuff. And then, I'm getting like this offer to edit for him, which was kind of cool. But, and then it was like with agreed terms that I would edit for him, but also I wanted to focus on my own creative stuff. And so eventually, if the time came to it that I could, stop editing for him and then just focus on my own stuff. So it eventually came down to that probably about a little over a year ago. I stopped editing for him full time. But
He let you out of the closet?
he finally let me out of the closet. I broke free.
If people don't know, that was a great recurring gag. Aqua would keep Hex locked in his closet, and whenever Aqua needed editing done, he'd allow Hex to get some fresh air at the Premiere Pro machine, and and then right back in with the Christmas decorations.
I miss editing for him, honestly, but there's just no time. I can't like do both. I
Yeah.
wish there was more time because I enjoyed working with him on a lot of stuff. Him and I made some pretty cool videos. I feel like one being the Grand Theft Auto one that I really liked,
Yes.
entitled Gucci. That's that him and I worked really hard on that one. The content that he got for that was like so good, and I was excited, and I was like, "Dude, let me write a script for this. Like, let me write, like, stuff for you to say to carry this story. Let's make this like a huge story, like a movie thing." And that's what we did. It was
Yeah,
great.
for those who don't know, we'll put this in the description as well. Imagine, like, Goodfellas, like a Martin Scorsese movie with the narration going on, but in GTA 5 starring Aqua and Company.
Yeah. It was so good, and, like, his character was great, I felt like, and I didn't even have to, like, really do anything to make the story progress because the story was already there, and it was, like, unscripted. We just, like, made some stuff to make it even bigger, and that was a lot of fun working on him with that.
It's a funny thing. I'm coming up on 2 years now,
Really? Has it been
which
that
is
long?
it's wild how fast time goes, but
It's terrifying.
it feels a lot like.
Congrats.
Oh, thank It feels a lot like, uh, obviously it's different from television, it's different from TV
Mhm.
broadcasting. You're 100% in control of everything, which is the attraction to it, but, uh, it's so hard for everybody to make every second of every episode because these are long broadcasts,
Right.
daily. I find that personally there's, like, things that I just forget to bring up. Or like basic things about, uh, not just me as a person, but my personal, relationship to streaming and video games and art and the things I wanna broadcast. Are there, like, basic types of things that you wanna bring up that are specific to the Hexloom experience that perhaps either a new person coming onto the stream would be interested in knowing, or maybe the casual fan who may have missed this episode or that. Well, for instance, you're making this music on the side.
Mhm.
uh where have you been making music since you were little? Was this a newer thing as well?
No, not new. So, honestly, music has always been my first, creative outlet since I was a kid. So, music always came first before video editing for anything that I do now, photography, anything. Uh, it was always music first. So, when I was I don't remember how young, but my parents gave me the option for either violin or guitar. They wouldn't let me do drums. That's what I wanted to do was drums, but they were like, "We're not listening to that." So
Oh no.
which I mean, rightfully so, honestly. But I picked guitar, and I learned kind of like it was the instructor that I had was more classical, and I learned how to read music, like sheet music. I don't know how to anymore now, but
Yeah.
like at the time I was reading that, and it didn't like click with me. I feel like, and I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it, and I think it was because I was being like not necessarily forced, but it was kind of like not really. My heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So I told them that I wanted to stop, so I stopped. And then somewhere, I forget how old I was, but when I turned like 12, something like weird clicked. And I don't know what it was, but I had this insane urge to like learn guitar again. And I did. And I went to this guitar teacher for a little bit, and he was like more down to earth. He was more of like a hippie, and like he was really cool. And he was like, dude, it got to a point where he was like, dude, if you're not like wanting to learn like how to read music, I can't really teach you anything else. Like you're already like writing your own stuff. Like you know how to play. Like just go do that. And he's like, I love taking your money, like your parents' money every week. But he was like, dude, I don't know what else to do. And I was like always really thankful for that. And he kind of always gave me that first push of like, you don't need to learn how to read music you can just do stuff. You can
Yeah,
just do it on your own. Like there's no
exactly.
rules to it. And I think that really kind of paved the way. I wish I could remember his name. I hope he's doing all right.
His name was Bob Dylan.
Carlos Santana, I think was his name or something. I
Something
can't remember.
Santana.
Something Santana. Carlos. But yeah. And but that's what I did. I started just playing guitar. That's all I did was just live, breathe guitar. And it progressed, and obviously like I started being in some bands, got to do some tours and whatnot. And uh yeah, I would say honestly all the video editing and everything is pretty relatively new-ish compared to me and like having a music background.
Interesting.
So me doing all this music again is more of like me trying to keep what I like, what inspired originally, like all this creativity and stuff. So
Yeah,
like it's me going back to that because I kind of had to put all that on a side burner when I started streaming and stuff, because streaming is like so taxing. And like a lot of times when I used to stream like for so much longer than I did now. But afterwards you just kind of don't want to do anything, and if you want to have any social life, like you kind of have to do that immediately after. But uh music and photography kind of took like on a side burner for a little bit, and then I started kind of messing around with like synthwave music, which is something that I had never like really messed around with. I've been like around it, but I never really did anything with it. And then I started doing that. Yeah, I just recently got back into guitar. Me and a friend of mine are doing like this project together, which I'm really excited about. So,
what can you tell us more about that little duo? Is it synth related or?
no, I'm playing guitar. Like him and I are doing. Him and I used to be in bands together in Albuquerque. So I'm not. I don't live in Albuquerque anymore. But him and I send like files back and forth to each other so that we can work on it, like in Logic.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so him and I have just been working on a bunch of tracks and a bunch of stuff that I think is going to be really cool when it comes out.
Very cool.
Another person too that I always have looked up to, and I'm sure like a lot of people have, is Casey Neistat.
Yeah,
And it might be kind of cliche, but I don't really care. But because that dude is like, he was always the definition of like, you don't need to go to art school to do this shit. Like, just do it. He's just like, just fucking do it. He's like, it's not hard to just like bust out a camera and like vlog stuff or just like film something. Just like go out and do it. Like you don't need someone telling you how to do it. Just figure it out like your own way. That's how like styles are created. Because I feel like if you're just constantly copying someone else, you're just always gonna be, I feel like, just that copy of something. So I always thought that was really cool of him to say, because I don't think he went to school either. He just kind of always had that eye for things. And I mean, like some people are just gonna have an eye for stuff as far as like creativity and just like filming things and photography. But I don't know. I always thought that was like a cool thing. I always looked at him as like an inspiration for sure.
totally. Yeah, he's it's funny that for someone who didn't go to film school, he's like one of the most influential filmmakers of
Yeah,
the 21st century.
him and his brother.
Yeah. So when did like I mean so I'm trying to cover all the artistic pursuits you got, which I love. You got all these different outlets. Photography. This seems like
Hmm.
a more recent practice of yours.
Nah, that goes back. So there was music, and then like I had a bunch of friends like through music who were very into photography as well, like film photography and just in general. And through that, I actually got the itch to start um, taking photos myself, because I always felt like I had a really good eye for certain things. And it was like one of those things that I was like nonstop, dude. We'd always go over, hang out, like me and the group of friends. We'd always hang out, and we would just just go like downtown and walk around and do, shoot the shit, but we'd always be shooting something like as far as photography wise. And I thought that was always really cool. And then that kind of, again, like once I started streaming more and like getting more into video editing, all of that stuff kind of went by the wayside a bit. So it's only like fairly recently that I've been just like the music thing, trying to get back into the older creative things that like sparked all of
joy.
that. And I
Maria
think a lot of
Kondo
it too
style.
is it kind of goes back to what I was mentioning earlier when I was like I play Tarkov now, and like I'm grateful for it that it got me the start on like pretty much everything. But it's like I feel like I'm not creative in it as much as I could be, or like what else I could be doing. So it's kind of like that double-edged sword a little bit, kind of. Where I'm like, I don't even know if that's the proper term for that, but like I'm grateful for it, but also like I feel like it's hindering me from other creative things. If that makes sense.
That's why you gotta
Yeah.
ditch that Tarkov and jump into Fortnite like old Greg. The
Is
most
that what you've
creative
been
game
doing?
out there.
Yeah.
Now we got Peter Griffin and Eminem skins.
Oh man,
So the creativity
it's endless.
possibilities are endless.
Wow.
I've started my Fortnite era. That was so weird. Oh no. Oh no.
I played Fortnite once, and it was actually with Fobtech, and I never played it again. I said I'm never playing this game ever again, Fobtech. I was like, I'm sorry, but I just like this is like Tarkov to you, like this is just
It was a little too realistic, eh?
yeah. But that was back when it was only build mode, so maybe it'd be better now.
Oh yeah, you gotta
But it's
play
like
zero
no
build.
mode.
As the
Yeah.
Sego Maniacs know, we only do zero.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I've been playing it literally for like 3 weeks, and I pretend like I'm a historian of Fortnite.
Have you bought any Fortnite merch yet? That's the
I have
question.
not.
Have you bought
For the
skins,
record.
Greg?
I have not, for the record, but I was like, press X for checkout. I was that close. And something deep down in me stopped me.
How much of Ninja have you been watching recently?
These algorithms are crazy. Ninja's everywhere now. Everywhere I look.
Really?
I'm on like
I never see him.
I'm on like overstock.com and there's Ninja.
Oh, what the hell? Is this, dude?
So what I mean, this is the question I should have led off with.
What's that?
Twitch obviously is primarily a video game streaming website.
Yeah.
A lot of gamers. Even like the art channels, most of them are game related. Like there's the great Schleiz out there who
Yeah.
takes stills of video games and draws them, interprets them through his talents. When were you bit by that video game bug? I mean, were you one of those kids who had a system right from the start? Did it come later?
Not from the start, but I think my first console was a Nintendo 64. I had the clear green one, Jungle Green, I believe.
Ooh,
And
that's a good one.
yeah. And I'm trying to think what like I can't even remember what the first game was that I played on it, which is kind of sad. But I will say that the most memorable, I think it's everyone's though, is like Legend of Zelda. Incredibly memorable. Banjo-Kazooie
Yeah.
as well. That had a huge impact on me. Trying to think like what else I would play. I mean, Super Smash Bros. I would play nonstop. I had like a lot of racing games like F-Zero and stuff as well. But that was like the first. What's that?
You ever play what was it called? Rush 2?
Yeah, my friend had Rush. Yeah, my friend had. It was the car racing game, right?
Yeah, it was the funniest game because like you put the cartridge in, you flick the console on, and it just goes Rush. And then this crazy, the soundtrack's amazing. Yeah, I think you would actually get a real kick out of it. But it's got this like crazy synthy 90s like club music.
I do remember it because I edited a video for Aqua once where he just showed everyone his old N64 games, and I think Rush was on that one. I remember that. That's how I know what it is. Yeah.
He's a big Rush boy.
Mm-hmm. But I think that was my first console, and actually it got like an NES after I had the 64.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, just because I was like interested in like past consoles. But I would say when I like really started gaming a lot, well, I guess the N64 was that, but maybe a PS3 or GameCube. GameCube. I had GameCube, yeah, for sure. I still have my GameCube
That
ever
was a
since
great
I was a
system.
kid. It was, I think, the best console that Nintendo has ever made, and also quite possibly the best controller that anyone's
Yes.
ever made.
N64, worst controller.
That might be the worst controller, yeah. But GameCube had so many good games on it. You had Twilight Princess, Zelda Twilight Princess, Paper Mario. Oh, Paper Mario. How could I forget? Paper Mario on N64 was probably my favorite game. I played that game I don't know how many times all the way through. But Paper Mario for GameCube. I mean, you had Mario Sunshine. It was just like such a good console with like everything on it. But yeah, and then I got a PS3. I switched over to Sony products after that, a bit more adult games. I played all the God of War games when I did that, and that was really cool up until that point. Then I got a PS4, and then after that, I started PC gaming. That was about the time that I got a PC and actually started gaming, because you couldn't play Rust on anything else but the PC. So, yeah. But going back to kind of like what you were saying is, I think a lot of people view Twitch obviously as like a video game site, but I think they should view it more as just like a creativity site, and just do a lot of the streams that I like to watch, they're not even playing video games. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, yeah, so
like Amaranth,
yeah,
Sasha Grey.
yeah, they just like to sit there, you know. I just like to sit there with them. A lot of times they're not even on screen. They're just they've been away for an hour changing their bikini. So, nah, like Uncle Joe show, big fan of Uncle Joe. Just like stuff where it's, I don't know, it's more like a huge community. It's really cool. I like that a lot. Because I think if there's anything that you can take away from my streams, it's like I'm not really playing to be the best at something. I'm more just there to have a good time and hope that other people have a good time as well.
Totally.
While they watch.
That's what I love about tuning in. It's always a chill. You're playing, you know, you're just it's like Aquas. I always feel like the best streams you feel like you know, you just got off the bus. You got, you know, a little snack and you're sitting in the TV room just chilling.
One of the greatest like compliments I feel like as a streamer that anyone in the community can give them is like, I'm just sitting down like eating a snack watching or something. Like that is like the highest compliment. Like that is so cool to me. It's like you're just hanging out, literally just eating a snack, just vibing, and that's so cool. Because I like doing that too, usually when I watch Aqua as well. So
yeah,
like I totally get that. And I think that's the coolest thing.
So I asked my community, there are many hex addicts in my community.
Hex addicts? Oh man.
And I have some questions.
Oh man.
Some of
some
of them are like just profound troll level.
That sounds about right.
The great Hello Cupcake asked, or actually recommended. I should have led with this today, but I apologize, Cupcake. They said that I think a good conversation starter would be a question like, do you remember the first time you felt afraid? We don't have to answer that one. Moving on.
That's a good question, though.
DS_319 asked, how long will it take for a train A and B to collide from a distance of 1,300 miles if train A heads north at an average speed of 95 miles per hour, leaving its station at the precise moment as train B, who's heading south at an average speed of 110 miles per hour. I think we're going to skip both of these questions. I do have a very specific question from someone I met actually through your stream. Filmmaker Hulu.com extraordinaire Greg Bjorkman.
Ah, yes. Press play
play
director
on
Hulu. Yes.
Be sure to press play on Hulu.
That's right.
He says, where is this?
Watching you navigate a computer is great.
Yeah. He said, well, he leads off asking you, this is Greg Bjorkman, press play, Hulu.com.
He's just plugging himself.
Do you have a favorite Tom Hanks movie? And why is it Polar Express? Care to elaborate?
Oh, no. I just yesterday, I've been feeling under the weather, so I was like watching movies all day yesterday. And I was, on HBO Max or Max, excuse me. And
Yeah, how dare you?
I'm sorry. It was like, the holiday movies, Polar Express. I'm like, okay, so everyone talks about Polar Express. It's this like world renowned, it's a crazy blockbuster. It was nuts because apparently the CGI was so awesome in it and everything or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. That's what I thought at least, but I thought most people enjoyed the movie. I put that movie on, and that might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, dude. That movie is god awful.
You mean you didn't like the Aerosmith performance at the North Pole?
I might have fallen asleep at that point. What happened is I watched it and I was so off put by their faces. Like, especially there's this girl in the movie. I don't even remember what the fuck their names were because they're so unmemorable. But they're she would like talk, but her face would keep moving. It'd be like, well, I don't know where my ticket is, and then like her face would just keep moving. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a cutscene from PS1 or something.
Yeah, that's that kind of. It does not hold up, but the story also I feel like doesn't hold up like at all. I fell asleep and I woke up to like these elves that sounded like Joe Pesci talking, and I was so confused because I was like, they were just on the train. Like, what the hell is happening? And I got to the point where he's like trying to ring the bell in his ear or something, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm like literally just wasting my life. And I put on Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire instead because I was on Harry Potter 5, and I'm gonna watch Harry Potter 6 later.
Nice.
So.
I love it like when you're not feeling well and you want to see a warm, cozy movie, and then the movie's actually making you feel worse.
Yeah, I was like dumbfounded. Just because like I know it's such a popular movie, but and then someone in my stream today was like, it's a kids movie, and I was like, I can name like 5 kids movies that are like holiday movies that are still good. Home Alone, fucking
totally.
yeah, like Home Alone 2. There's 2
Home
movies
Alone
right
3.
there. Yeah, I don't know about. Well, yeah, that one was actually okay. Anything after that was like pretty bad, but I don't know. It was just kind of like, Nightmare Before Christmas. Like I can name a bunch of them that still hold up. That one to me didn't hit whatsoever. Couldn't relate to it.
Well, I don't want to sound, like a prissy cinemaphile, but if you were to see the movie in its entirety with Steven Tyler's performance, perhaps your
That would have
thought
changed
on the entirety of the experience would be a little different.
That 3-second part is gonna make me feel better about the hour and a half.
43 seconds.
Oh.
It says here on YouTube.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, anyways, that's probably what he's referring to. What was funny is what we like to do on stream is we like to, exercise our brain a little bit before we fucking rot it by playing Tarkov. is we like to do Wordle, and then we'll do Framed. I don't know if you do
Yes.
Framed. And then we'll do this new one, Themely. I don't know if you do Themely.
Themely, I don't know.
Themely is for soundtracks. So you use your ears. So it could either be a show, a video game, or like a movie. And
Wow.
I had told everyone today about, my Polar Express experience, and we went and did Themely. And it started playing, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me." And it was a song from Polar Express.
You can't escape
I can't escape it.
the Robert Zemeckis filmography.
Did he do that movie?
For the record, I thoroughly enjoyed Polar Express, and Robert Zemeckis, don't come after me.
He did do that. What the heck?
Now, I should come clean about something. You may or may not know. Robert Zemeckis is my son. No. I totally stole from you the Framed daily Twitch experience break.
care.
I do the Framed. I
Yeah.
do movie dull, which is great.
Ooh, okay.
That's the 1 second movie.
I like that.
And then Cinetune Nerdle, which is the worst name of all
Name
time.
ever, yeah.
But it's like Sudoku and Wordle, but with movies.
Ah.
Actually, do you want to do one right now?
Movie doll? Yeah, I would love that.
I'm gonna screen grab. Wow, 1 second in. What do you even think this is?
My brain couldn't even comprehend anything.
When I don't know what it is, I just type in too fast, too furious.
That's always a good one. I was gonna say Pleasantville, but that's not even coming up. Or maybe I misspelled it. Okay.
That's a great one. That one made me cry. I'll admit it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I saw Tom Hanks. Is it the Polar Express?
Oh, it's Blue Velvet.
Oh. Where was I seeing Tom Hanks?
Imagine that movie.
Velvet with Tom Hanks.
Let's fuck! I'll fuck anything that moves!
Are you you're a big Star Wars fan?
Yeah, I like Star Wars.
Do you know when I say Salacious B. Crumb, does that mean anything to you?
Oh, no, that's the guy on the Jabba the Hutt's. Yeah, the little
Call back to episode 1 of Watching Paint Dry. I love that guy so much. He's so funny. And I
Yeah.
feel like the Star Wars' biggest crime is they have all these great characters and then they just don't use them.
Or they kill him off.
I want the Salacious B. Crumb 12-episode Disney Plus show.
Backstory on his
How
life.
did he wind up with Jabba?
Yeah. You want to see what I drew?
Yeah, I would love to see.
It's
Wow.
a little elf man, and he's holding his candy cane. Don't worry, it's just a candy
I love
cane.
the placement of the candy cane.
Yeah, you can get a zoom in on that. Good luck tracking it.
Santa Claus with
Oh, wow.
some teeth for Halloween time. I would love to know, does Santa, does he celebrate Halloween?
That's a great. No,
What does he do?
What does he do?
Like
all year.
Yeah, he's got a
Overwatchers?
big day in December, then a lot of time off. Talk about not fleshing out a character enough.
I was watching a documentary about him called The Santa Clauses recently on Disney Plus, starring Tim Allen, and all he does is just he drinks cocoa and eats sweets and deals with his family.
And he goes,
Yeah, I wish. One more question. What do you think that Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's both, but what more is it? Great,
Like
good,
Halloween.
great English, Greg. Brace yourself, everybody. It's a Christmas movie.
Mm. But what that's the beauty of that movie is because it could be either one, and I think that's what's awesome.
Here's my question: is Die Hard a Carl Winslow movie?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I think so.
Could also be a Armageddon movie.
It's in the Good Will Hunting extended universe.
Yeah. Everything is just part of a multiverse. That's all I know anymore.
Well, Hex, it's been a pleasure. I hope I didn't keep you too long.
No.
I'd love to know what we're entering Q1 2024. Is there something you're looking forward to next year in the world of gaming, in the world of your personal creative pursuits? What should the people know?
Gaming, I don't even know what's coming, but however, I am excited for all the music projects that I have. I also have a small EP coming out on the 22nd of this month, December 22nd, which is also my birthday.
Hell
And
yeah.
so that'll be exciting. I'm just mainly excited for all the music stuff that I'm going to be having coming out. But honestly, excited for all the streams nonetheless. You know, I just feel like January is always such an exciting time. It's like, oh, it's full of potential. It's a brand new year. And so I'm looking forward to it. Everything that comes along with that.
I am too, man. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah,
Gonna
thanks
put
for
all your
having me.
information down below. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a nice life. We'll see you soon.
Have a good life. We will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much.